Hi, reading friends. Welcome back. We are continuing to talk about RL.2, which is answering questions and asking questions. Today, I have another cute little video to spark our interest, to get us thinking just a little bit about who, what, when, where, why, and how. Let's take a look.
It's gonna go. I'll ask each one what they know. That's how we build a story. We will what, when, where, why. We'll have to guide you when you're mystified. Oh, like a private eye. They gather all the information for the latest investigation. Work it out with who, what, where, why. By your side. What does everything mean? Let's bring the facts together. When did this all occur? Where's the place that they were? Why did the whole thing happen? Who, what, when, where, why? We'll have to guide you when you're mystified. Oh, like a private eye. They gather all the information from the latest investigation. Work it out, we'll do what, where, why. By your side. For further assistance, you might ask how to fill out the details. I have a cat named Jakes. He always gets me awake each and every morning. Jumps right under the bed. I know he wants to be fed. It's always without warning. Who, what, when, where, why. We'll have to guide you when you're mystified. Oh, like a private eye. They gather all the information for the latest investigation. Work it out with who, what, where, why. By your side.
Awesome. Love that video. Gets us thinking about those question words. Today, our learning target says, I can ask and answer questions so I can understand key details in a text. I will know I have it when I can ask and answer questions about a text. Today, I want us to look at our anchor chart, and it has questions we should ask about what we are reading. Good readers ask themselves as they read, who is in the story? What is happening to my character? When does the story take place? Where does the story take place? Why does the character act or feel the way they do? And how did the character solve the problem? Let's look at some questioning. Questioning shouldn't just happen at the end of the story. You shouldn't read the whole story and get to the end just to answer some questions about the text. You should be thinking and asking yourself questions as you go through the story. A strategy to use is to stop after every 2 or 3 pages and ask yourself those W and H questions. This will not only help you answer questions if you have questions after the passage, but it will help you remember the sequence of the story, how you put the sequence or the order of events. It will also help you remember the events of the story. So always be asking yourself those questions and trying to figure out what has happened on each page. We talked about this a week or two ago. It is our wonderings. Wonderings can help us think deeper about the text. For example, I wonder why the little pig thought building a house out of straw would be a good idea. So it's really good thinking questions, not just those surface level questions, but digging a little bit deeper. I wonder why the big bad wolf didn't look in the fireplace before he jumped down the chimney. Wonder why he didn't do that. I wonder, so those are those questions that you're asking yourself. I wonder why, I wonder how, I wonder when. These wonder questions help us to dig deeper into the text, not just to stay focused on those surface level questions. All right, there are types of questions. We have a basic W question about the text. That's what we have been learning about. And those questions are called thin questions. They're just the surface level. Who is the character? What is the setting? What's the problem? What's the solution? It's those things that we always ask ourselves. And then we have thick questions. Those are the questions that spark a debate. They spark interest. They encourage conversation. So if you were talking to your parent or guardian, you would be thinking, I wonder why this happened. And it would be where you could talk about it, you could debate it, or you could give each other ideas. Those are always really good questions to ask yourself. So not just surface level, but thick questions just to get you thinking a little bit deeper. So today we are going to do another guided practice. And this guided practice today, Mrs. Steck is going to read with you. We're going to use our annotating tools just to help us find the answers and give evidence from where we have found the answer in our text. Today, you will see some compound words. Compound words are those two words put together to make a new word, such as baseball, baseball, or homework, homework. So just because it's a long word, you might still be able to chunk some little words in between there to help you figure out what it says. So here we go. Today we're going to read Ben's baseball game. Ben was a great baseball player. He played baseball every day at the baseball field right after school. He loved to play with his friends before he went home. Once he got home, he had a lot of homework to do, so Ben stopped by the baseball fields to play. During today's game, Ben saw a few fifth graders come into the field. This made Ben feel nervous. They asked him and his friends if they could play baseball too. Ben was scared because they were so tall. I want to stop right there before I read just that very last sentence. I'm already thinking, I'm wondering to myself, why was Ben nervous about the fifth graders? Why was he concerned about them playing with him? Had he had an experience with older kids, maybe being bullies? I'm just kind of wondering to myself about that. Let's read that last line. Ben was scared because they were so tall, but the fifth graders were actually very nice to them. So the story turned out good, but I'm still kind of wondering if he's had an experience where someone maybe bigger than him has been a bully on a playground before. All right, so let's look at our thinking questions. These are going to be our thin surface level questions just so that we can figure out, do we understand the text? And then I added another question at the bottom, which was my wondering that I had during the text. Let's look at number one. Who is the story mostly about? I can go back to my passage. I can take my annotating tool and I can underline right at the very beginning. The passage is about Ben. You can also see that the passage is about Ben from the title of the story. Let's get that up there. So the title says Ben's baseball game. So that gives us a hint that Ben is our character. And I'm not going to type those in there for those questions, but you get the idea on how we're going to do that. What makes Ben feel nervous? So what is he nervous about? As I'm looking through the text, I'm looking that it says, so Ben stopped by the baseball fields to play. During today's game, Ben saw a few fifth graders come onto the field. What made him nervous? This made Ben nervous. So the fifth graders coming out on the field made him nervous. Okay? And we can lengthen our line a little bit to go ahead and underline that whole little section there. All right? So the fifth graders made Ben nervous. Awesome. Why should Ben not have worried at all? Why should Ben not have worried at all? Well, we kind of got that at the very end of our text, because it says that he worried, but those fifth graders were actually very nice to him. So right there, the fifth graders were actually very nice to him. So we have that underlined. We can put that in our text. Number 4, what event happens in the story? What events? So when it talks about what events, that means what happens at the beginning, what happens at the middle, what happens at the end, like a retelling. So one of the events is that he loved to play with his friends before he went home, because once he gets home, he's got a lot of homework. So that is one of the events. Likes to play with his friends before he gets home. All right, let's add some more to that. See if I can drag that up and highlight that part for us too. He loved to play with his friends before getting home, because once he got home, he knew he had homework. All right, another event I think that we could add was that Ben got nervous when he saw the fifth graders. So let's switch the color, and let's say the fifth graders came onto the field and Ben got nervous. Okay. And then the end of the story is that the fifth graders were actually very nice to him. And we can underline that. Even though we've already used that sentence, we're going to use it for 2 different answers to the questions. Okay. Then at the very end, it says, what could have caused Ben to be nervous around older kids? This is kind of an opinion question, but this is a wondering question. It's not a surface level. It's kind of a dig deeper kind of thing. And really, you have to just kind of guess on what you're thinking. You're thinking, you don't really know, because we don't have any more of the story. So you may just have to think to yourself, I'm thinking maybe he had been bullied by an older kid and that just makes him nervous. Okay, I don't know if I'm right. I don't know if I'm wrong. That's just sharing my opinion. If we were in the classroom, we would be able to talk to each other about what our different opinions are based on this question, because your other friends may be thinking something else. So it's okay when we're doing that kind of opinion question and we're debating or talking about it, that we have different ideas. We don't know for sure. We're just kind of giving our thinking. All right. Today, for your independent practice, you will have a passage to read, and you will also have questions to answer on your passage. So you will need to submit those or share those with me so that I can look those over. And when you're finished with those, make sure you hit the share like you do up here, and share those with me or Miss Cardin, whoever is your teacher, so that we can check those. Okay? All right, let's think for just a minute about our learning target. Our goal was, can I answer and ask questions about my text? So today as a reader, I learned to do what? Today I learned to do wanderings, or I learned to dig deeper in the text and think as I'm reading. As a reader today, I struggled with. Did you have trouble finding the answers to the questions when we drug those over? Were you not really sure where that was in the passage? So you might have struggled a little bit with that. Today, if you did fine, you were able to answer all of your questions. You didn't have to ask for help. You did great doing all of those yourself. Then you are a 3. If you needed to get a little help, but you're doing pretty good, just need a little bit more practice, you are a level 2. And if you needed some extra help, or you're not really sure how to read those questions or those passages, then you're a level 1. And we can touch base when we get on live today and chat a little bit about where you're having some difficulties so that we can work those out together. Okay? You guys have a great day. Enjoy your time of learning, and we will see you soon.